If you want to change something in your life, you have to start by listening to yourself much more deeply than you ever have so far. I'll tell you why. I have been a driven and ambitious person as long as I've known myself. When I think back to high school, I have like this big thing that I want to get to, and then I would make detailed calendar blocks of what would I be doing at 6 a.m. when I wake up, and 7 a.m., 8 a.m. There was this whole calendar, and I can't remember how many times I made this calendar and never even followed it, maybe to an extent. But the thing is, most of us get to midlife by using the same strategies of achievement and accomplishments that we learned growing up. Maybe it was your high school years, or maybe it was even before when you were younger. And I can't believe how many times I go into a conversation with my coach and then I say that this is the thing I'm trying to get to in my business, and this is the thing I want in my relationship. And then I realize I'm doing the same damn thing that I have done so many times before. And because I have had that kind of support, I'm able to recognize that much quicker and get out of it and do something else, like practice a new way of operating, new way of being, to go towards those goals that I set year after year. The biggest thing I have learned in my 5 years of coaching hundreds of people and being coached by some of the best executive coaches out there and being trained in one of the best leadership training programs is that there's a way we have learned to create. And even though our circumstances around us change, maybe like we have better jobs, we have better relationships, the underlying algorithm of how we create comes from high school days when we had intense pressure, or even before. Now, this is not a big problem because one can have a very successful life by working hard, or by running that algorithm that we have learned. But the problem comes in when there are conflicting desires. If you want to make a lot of money, but you don't want to work 80 hours a week, and you want to be present for your family, you want to be present for your kids, then those are two conflicting desires this algorithm has not had made space for. If you want to start a new business, if you want to rebuild your relationship with your partner, if you want to find a new job, because there's every chance that you might lose your job because of the AI layoffs in the next couple of months. If you run the same algorithm, it's going to give you the same kind of life. Although you may be successful, you might land that job, you might start that business, you might try to get more date nights, but the experience underneath would kind of remain the same. For me, this looked like always putting in more effort, always trying to figure out what's next, always trying to figure out the right way, the right strategy to make it successful, to get to my goals faster. And that left me in a state of like this being very heady, just very busy and exhausted all the time. And then once I'm exhausted, I stay resting for a long time before I used to take any action. So that is a survival pattern. The pattern was more like charge very hard and then freeze. And then when I'm in the freeze mode, I'm not satisfied, I'm very disappointed. So then charge again, and then become exhausted and freeze again. So that, like, being in that cycle prevents true rest, really prevented me from confronting the pace of my learning process, because both modes are based in this idea that I should know better and I should have figured this all out even soon. It's a way of collapsing into a particular mode of operation without actually looking to see, okay, how long is this going to take, and honoring my pace of learning. So if you're looking to create something new, there are a couple of things to remember. Your old ways of accomplishing, learning, or creating new things will come in the way and create a limited version of what you can actually accomplish, what you want. Maybe you will get the business success, maybe you'll get that job you're looking for, but underneath you will have the same feeling of pushing harder always or solving problems for somebody else. Those patterns will stay. And then the second thing to remember is that these patterns are very hardwired into our system. Even today, when I'm in a conversation with my coach, I realize that, oh, it's the same damn thing I'm doing again. And it's not like, yeah, bro, just stop it. No, it doesn't happen that way, because our nervous system has trained itself to find familiarity and safety in those patterns. So without knowing, our subconscious kind of collapses into that way of being. So it is best done in conversation with somebody else if you want to create things outside of the old patterns. The third thing to remember is that you have to start listening to yourself much more deeper than you have done so far. As in, you have to learn the skill of listening to your needs, your frustrations, your anger, your sadness, your disappointment, what happens in a conversation, because those are signals for what you want to create, like your vision from your deepest essence, not from your old survival patterns. If you want help with that, send me a private message. I have an offering where I will send you 30 days of prompts and we will have 2 one-on-one calls. We'll help you create a vision from your essence, not your survival strategies.